Hey, this video today will be about relationships and my hesitation on being in one. My previous outlook on how relationships worked as a 16-year-old boy was basically, I'll start off by saying this, due to coming of age late, really, as in getting to the point where I can develop love for someone or a crush on someone. Due to getting that point late, I had a lot of time to think about relationship without knowing what love feels like. So that, I feel like that gave me a more clear understanding of what I wanted out of relationships for the future of my life, because I wasn't clouded by these thoughts. And I've been battling with that, because now you can, in my last video or video journal 2, I explained on how, what I just said, and also, the struggles that I've been going through with my 2 crushes that I've had, too. But basically, what it meant for me was that, all these emotions, and then I had to, there'd be points where I'd, start thinking about it rationally. I'd be like, okay, I have all these emotions, and I want to get with this person, and I want to get with this person. And then I started thinking, no, remember what you used to say to yourself, you don't need that shit, because it seemed so stupid to me. I thought, why are people getting in these relationships? It seems like a waste of time. I'd rather do so many other things, I'd rather surf or ride my bike, and it's only until now that I realize, what people are actually thinking and what they're going through. Because when I used to mountain bike, there'd be a lot of people who would stop riding, and the main thing is when they got a girlfriend. It's oh, he's got a girlfriend, he's never gonna fucking ride again. He's gonna sell his bike, for 10 grand bike, yeah, he's gonna sell that shit. And they usually did. But, so I didn't know what love felt like. And now that, I'm developing that, and I'm kind of unexperienced and I'm on the edge, mentally, or no, deep down, I know that I shouldn't be in a relationship, but my surface level brain is naturally, by human instinct, telling me that I need to be in a relationship when I don't. Because it's going to help me focus in a lot of ways, schoolwork, work, everything, hobbies, whatever. And I know I don't need it because I've survived all this time without even thinking about it. So, there's a bit of a battle between surface and subconscious thinking going on. But what I'm leading into is how seeing others in a relationship affects me in a selfish and kind of self-conscious way. The past, 2 months, or one of my friends, or 2 of my friends, they've just always been in a relationship. One of my friends has been in long-term relationships, from a fairly young age, probably too young, but, now he's in another long-term. And my other friend, he got in his first relationship, about 2 months ago. And now I'm seeing them, going on two mans, air quotes, 2 mans, going out or going to, one of my friend will meet my other friend with their girlfriends at one of their houses, and, they'll do stuff for, National Girlfriend Day. I saw too many photos of them getting sent to the group chat, and, they made, these cookies that said 6-7. It was I was not fucking laughing. I was punching holes in my wall because of the frustration with, the mental battle I just talked about. And I'm just fuck, that seems I wish this was me with this person, the person who I'm kind of getting over with, the person who I talked about in my last video from work, which I'm sort of getting, sort of trying to forget. And I'm doing a pretty good job at it. That was 2 days ago. That was before I found out that she didn't have interest in me, which, obviously changed a lot, but I digress. It affects me. Now, I think a big reason on why it affects me so much is my self-consciousness, how self-conscious I am with social anxiety and low self-esteem, because all my life I never had a relationship. I thought no one would want to be in a relationship with me because, which comes from that low self-esteem, which I don't quite know what it's from. Maybe it could be due to small amount of bullying, which mainly stemmed from falling out with friends, who I'm made up with now because it's been years, but it's sort of, I had a lot of falling out, maybe because I was a dickhead. I was like, kind of not troubled, because I'd be a disservice to people who actually are troubled youth, but like, I was really angry, and, I never had anyone there to correct me, like a dad. But anyway, could be due to that, or from the age of 6 to about 12, I didn't play any sports. I was really unathletic, and it affects me to this day, because I can't throw, I can't catch very well, I can't play soccer or, rugby or whatever, like football, and which, like, I'm fine with now, because I have, like, a lot of friends who are, like, they're, like, it doesn't matter anymore, because fucking, I can lift more than most of these motherfuckers, so it doesn't really matter, except, like, the really beefy fucking footy kids, like, honestly, like, what I mean is I can lift more than most people in my age group. But, and I had really pasty skin, I had a shit haircut, I was generally just unlikable. This is like, I'm talking years ago, like maybe 2021, 2022, and basically, because of that unathleticism, like, I was that type of kid where, when you see someone I'm going to sound like a piece of shit saying this, but when you see someone who's so unathletic, you kind of just automatically judge them, and it pisses you off to the point, like, how unathletic they are, how white they are. Fuck, just, like, the piece of shit inside of you might say, like, oh, fucking get a haircut. That was me. So maybe I'm that way because I'm still deeply self-conscious about my past. But, that also kind of gave me social anxiety, and probably just from the lack of time socializing in my younger years gave me social anxiety. Because, I'd spend a lot of time inside on my computer, But one more reason why I think that it affects me is not being able to have more time with my friends because they're busy with their girlfriends. And it's sort of like a jealousy, and it's a mix of that, like not having time with them, and the emotions of wanting to be in one, and the emotions of knowing I shouldn't be in one, and then the emotions of imagining myself with someone, and then the social, self-consciousness of, oh, but if I started talking to someone, they probably wouldn't like me, because I'm unexperienced, and I'm like this, I'm that, and the next thing, and, it just all boils into, like, a lot of anger, like, almost depression. I don't know what you would call depression, to be honest. I don't know what's the definition of depression, because I've been in a lot of states where it's just been like a month of just fucking, like, I don't want to go anywhere, I don't want to do anything, I'm just fucking angry and sad. So I guess that's depression, but I guess you could say I'm in a bout of, like, depression, because I'm really just, like, overthinking everything. I'm constantly thinking about shit, like, that, and I'll save this for another video, because I want to delve deep into it, like I'm doing with this one, is, like, the wanting to, actually, no, it was kind of like my first video, the wanting to do better things, and to be entrepreneurial, and, not follow in the footsteps of all these people that, in a really egotistical kind of way, I believe that I'm better, or no, not that I'm better. I believe, okay, first and foremost, I believe that everyone has the ability, to make millions, but I believe that I am going to be the one, based off one fact. Think about all the people in the world, right? Now, I know everyone's heard of, like, the fact, the top 1%. And if you think about it, it's only really 1% that even tries. Or no, it's less than 1% that even tries to make a business. And I mean, like, a big business. I'm not talking about mom and pop's business and they're not expanding. It's just, like, fucking, it's just there. Like, it's just like a fucking diner just sitting there, I'm talking about, like, a business, like, think e-commerce, like, SaaS, like, just, selling something that you made or whatever. I'm talking about that type of stuff. Something that you can actually scale into bigger things. And no, not a lot of people do it. I bet you don't know anyone who has done it, personally. And if you did, then they're probably a pretty rare one, and you probably don't know many of them, And the whole thing is pretty much everyone who's tried, and I mean tried, like, maybe they've given it years of trying and failing, they make it. It just happens because it's not gambling, it's just the fact of like gaining experience and trying harder. Anyway, yeah, that's probably going to be for another video. But basically, all this that I've said until now about the relationship stuff, it's really eating at me. And I don't really know what to do because, like, I'm coming more and more to the terms that I don't need it. I'm coming to terms I don't need a relationship. But all of my ancestors and the way their brain is wired is being like, yeah, yeah, bro, like, fucking find someone and, and look, like, a part of me thinks that, part of me still thinks, even after saying this out loud, that no one will want me. I can't imagine anyone being with me. I can't imagine myself being with someone. I'm too awkward. What will I say, I'm bad at holding conversation with people that I don't know, really. I'm not, like, terrible, but I'm bad, especially if it's a girl. Actually, I'm not, no, it's the same with boys and girls. It's not just, I'm past that stage of, like, oh, girl's scary, but, like, it's just that as well. It's the fact that I'm bad socially, so, like, what will I even say? Like, I considered asking this girl out before I knew that she didn't like me. This girl from my work from the last video, I considered asking her out, and then I thought to myself, like, what if she says no, and then, like, what if she says yes, and then what, you show up to the train station, what do you say? Oh, hi, and then it's crickets for, like, however long, and you just try and keep up the conversation with random shit, because I'm bad at small talk, and it just overwhelms me, and all this stuff, and I just wish it would all fucking go away. I wish I could turn back time to when I didn't have to think about that shit. This shit is fucking horrible, and I really think that, like, fuck, I'm so much better off without love. Like, like, not as in, like, people loving me, like, as in, not, like, I'm happy with just my family loving me and my friends, I don't want to fucking deal with this relationship shit. It's been a headache for the past 2 months of just fucking overthinking and getting pissed off, and I just want it to fucking go away. Anyway, that's me.